So in this presentation, I want to talk about what are text adventures and how to incorporate monetary systems into those. So I'll cover this content. So what are text adventures? What role do puzzles in text adventures play? What monetary systems in already existing text-based adventures? How to implement monetary systems in Inform 6? The problems associated with monetary systems in text adventures, the conclusion and further information. So what are text adventures? Text adventures are a genre of video games where storytelling takes the precedence, relying on textual descriptions. The player has to visualize the game world only using their imagination. So there's an immersive storytelling which enables the player to engage deeply with the narrative. Also, it challenges the player intellectually to and think critically and solve problems in a creative way. Also, it's a timeless entertainment, as it was designed to be fun and not like we heard in other presentations. It doesn't have micropayments or such things. The player only interacts with the game world using commands. So we have this example sentence: you're standing in an open field west of a white house with a boarded front door. There's a small mailbox here. Some of the words are marked, like field, house, door, and mailbox. Field is marked because that's the location where you are. So you could say, for example, examine the field, then you'd get a description of the field. The same with the house, and for the door you could say open door, or closed door, or maybe it is locked, and then you'd have to find a key and say unlock door, or something like that. And for the mailbox, you could maybe open it or attack it. I don't know, it depends on the game. So the genre was invented in the early 1970s. The first text adventure to be created was the Colossal Cave Adventure in 1975 by Will Crawford. It was really popular in the 1980s with Infocom Zorg, for example. But unfortunately, there was a declination of the popularity in the 1990s as there was a transition to graphical user interfaces. There still was an attempt to revive and preserve the genre. Examples for that would be the Interactive Fiction Archive in 1992 and the programming language Inform in 1993. Even though the genre is really old, it still has an active fan base, and there are yearly competitions like the Puny Jam, for example. So puzzles are really important in text adventures as they motivate the player to actually explore the game and uncover hidden secrets and treasures. Yeah. Also, it serves as a progression catalyst as it advances the storyline. And if the player successfully solves a puzzle, of course, it motivates to explore the world further. Also, it encourages the player to think creatively within context of the game world. Also, those puzzles are often seamlessly integrated into the narrative. There are different types of puzzles, for example, the logic puzzles, which require the player to apply deductive reasoning and critical thinking to solve complex scenarios or mazes. There's also riddles that provide cryptic clues or questions that players must decipher, often requiring clever and creative solutions. Also, there's item-based puzzles in which the players use items collected in the game to solve challenges, unlock new paths, or advance the storyline. So here we have an example for a puzzle. The game I took this puzzle from, I actually made it myself. It's about the player waking up in an old house where you don't know where you are, who you are, or what you're doing here. And the game is about exploring the house and finding out who you are. In this example, you'd have to go to the bathroom, firstly, and take a bottle of antipsychotics with you. Afterwards, you can leave the room and go to the living room. But if you try to leave, then again, you will get an error message that reads, as you try to open the door, you start hearing voices. You can't go that way. You can try again, but after some attempts, you'll lose the game as you die. So it implies that you're starting to hallucinate. So the player then has to remember that they took the antipsychotics with them and take the pill. Afterwards, you can leave the door as if nothing ever happened. What type of puzzle do you think this would be? It's hard to say, as there's often multiple parts of each puzzle involved, which means it's hard to actually distinguish them. So monetary systems in text adventures add a layer of realism to the game world. They simulate in-game economies by introducing currency, typically coins. By earning and managing the coins, the players it significantly impacts the player's gameplay experience by adding the element of strategy to decision making. Also, it enables the player to trade or buy items, which then unlocks new paths, or the player could pay for some services. The coins serve as a medium of exchange within the game world, facilitating transactions and interactions with the in-game characters. And the player's earnings often come from quests, contests, or successful puzzle solving, making coins a tangible reward for their efforts. Some games already implemented monetary systems, like Zork from 1980, which introduced Zork meats as the in-game currency. The players collected those and interacted with the characters to unlock secrets and make purchases. Planetfall, which was created in 1983, or rather released, used credits as the in-game currency. Credits were essential for acquiring items, trading with characters, and progressing through the storyline on a deserted space station. Also, there's another game, Fallen London from 2009, that introduced echoes as its in-game currency. The players earned those echoes through quests and interactions with characters and spent it for purchasing goods. So now we come to implementing the monetary systems in Inform 6. I specifically used the Puny Inform library, which you can just get from the GitHub page. I linked it in further information. Then you'll have to get the Inform 6 compiler, which generates a bytecode or C code that runs on all common platforms, both on modern systems like Windows, Linux, macOS, web, and retro systems. You'll also have to install a C code interpreter. I used Windows Frots specifically, but any C code interpreter will do. So, as we can see in this example, you can see a table in the room on which is a box which contains 6 gold coins and 3 silver coins here. Now I could say take all coins, and then it just writes on the screen that I took all the coins. I could also say take all silver coins, then it would only take the silver coins. If we then look into the inventory, we can see that we took all the coins and have them now. Firstly, we'll have to create a class that's called coin, or and we'll give it a parse name, and then later a routine that checks if it's plural or singular. So yeah. Then we also make another class that extends the class coin. We'll call it silver coin. We'll give it a name that we can refer to, and also the short name that's displayed the second time you want to write it on the screen. Then we also just look if it's multiple coins or just one coin, basically. We also do the same for the golden coins, but I didn't make a screenshot of that. Now we need a routine that simply calculates all the coins that are in the same room with you. So that's basically what this routine does. But of course, there's also problems associated with monetary systems, as puzzles typically only have one solution, but a monetary system would allow many decisions at any given point. An example for that would be the player bought the wrong goods and has no money left for the right ones now. What could we do about that? We firstly could include informative descriptions or warnings or acknowledgements. So if the player wants to buy something that's maybe not necessary, we just tell them, do you really want to do that? Also, we could include refunds or alternatives, like if the player bought the wrong goods, they could trade it for the right one, or could get the right goods in another way, like maybe finding them in a treasure chest or something like that. We could only include the necessary goods and the unnecessary goods only if once the quest is completed. Also, we could just limit the source of money or make it a time-based cost, which means the item will be maybe more expensive, but then over time it will become cheaper, or like vice versa. So now to the conclusion. The monetary systems can, of course, enrich the gameplay of text-based adventures and provide more entertainment and realism, but it also increases the complexity due to many decision-making options. So all the possible courses of play must be considered in order not to lead the player into a dead end and leave them frustrated. Also, Inform 6 offers good possibilities for the implementation of monetary systems in text-based adventures. I also linked the game Sorg. You can buy it on Steam for, I think, about €3 or something like that. All free games, though. I also linked the interactive fiction database, where you can basically play text adventures on the website. Also, I linked the Commodore 64 scene database. The game I used in the examples is also linked, and Puny Inform. Thank you for your attention.